ordinary housing estate somewhere near London. Another ordinary day. For Trevor Stewart, it's one day closer to the biggest challenge of his life. In 4 weeks' time, after 7 years of martial arts training, Trevor faces his first black belt downgrading. Trevor is Kevin Pell's star pupil.
It's quite a busy class actually Thursday.
Ex-Marine Kevin is the man behind Isshin Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, a style taught in some of the world's toughest and most respected martial arts clubs.
Okay guys, this time when I call out a number, I want you to get into groups of that number as quickly as possible.
My father was in the Metropolitan Police Judo Club.
Failures to do so will result in 10 push-ups in the centre of the dojo.
His judo teacher ran a club in Enfield.
Okay, let's pick the
He took me
pace
along
up
as a
next.
youngster. I had no idea what judo was. It was all these funny people running around in big white pyjamas and I was horrified.
4!
I'm afraid I didn't take to it naturally like a lot of our children do. You know, I think it's fair to say that I was dragged there screaming and kicking on more than one occasion.
Okay, rest of you, we go!
But it was the best thing
Time to listen
that
in.
my father ever did for me. He made me go, which I'm not sure that's always the right way, but in this case, I think it was. He particularly wanted me to do judo.
6!
And I did judo from a very, very young age, right through into my early 20s. Karate, and of course jiu-jitsu, my first love. And I've been doing jiu-jitsu ever since.
Kevin's brand of jiu-jitsu is more than just sport or self-defense.
Showman.
It's a way of life.
Isshin Ryu Jiu-Jitsu, Kokoru Tada Shiko, Nichi Nichi no Keiko, Reito Sets.
This kind of training is all down to character building, and I'm a strong believer that in a day and age of people taking their black belts off the back of cornflake packets, we wanted something a little bit more special, something you had to strive for over a lot of years, rather than over a 2 or 3 year period.
The intention is a threat rather than to kill, because to kill would be so easy. For this position here, we're going to take the head off centre line. As we do, we're going to parry across with the hand, this position here, and lock.
I think it's a sad fact, very much so, that grades have been given a way to attract larger memberships, which is just totally wrong.
Counter strike for this position, parry and lock, strike towards the neck. Ice! From here, half shoulder position, and strike.
Making the grade is anything but easy at the Isshin Ryu clubs. Many have tried and failed in the past. Over the last 11 years, nearly 30 candidates have faced the black belt grading. Only 2 have succeeded. Trevor is hoping to be the 3rd.
He's into his 7th year now. He's been a probationary black belt for 2 years, which is compulsory. And the running and the swimming and the other arduous exercises and training that the students have to undertake shows to me as a teacher their strength of character and how far deep inside themselves they're prepared to reach and pull up the goods. Some of these black belts that are being awarded nowadays, you know, an hour in the dojo, and they're walking out the other end like a production line. We wanted something a little bit more testing.
The next few weeks will certainly be testing for Trevor as he prepares for a grading which features 2 full days of the most intense physical and mental challenge. Each day will start with a 7-mile run early in the morning, and it is essential that Trevor achieves ultimate physical fitness if he is to endure the full grading schedule.
I suppose I'm running about 7 miles at the moment, every other night. There's a hell of a lot involved with the training. You can't just rely on what you're actually doing in the dojo. There's a lot of stuff you've got to do in your own time, like running, cycling, swimming, basically getting your fitness up to the standard that you need to get your down grade. Some days you just don't want to go out the door, especially when it's wet, cold. The last thing you want to do when you get home from a hard day's work is go out for a 7-mile run. It's the last thing you want to do, but you just got to get on with it.
Apart from his training, Trevor has a busy family life with his wife Tracy and baby Jessica.
And a cup of tea?
It affects me in that I don't see him much. He's working during the day, he comes home, he has something to eat, and then he's out down the club. And by the time he comes back from the club, we're both in bed, and he's up at 4 o'clock in the morning going to work again. So it's just time. We don't spend a lot of time together. I don't see him that much. But something he wants to do, so you just go along with it.
Trevor's work as an agency driver means he has to take jobs whenever he can. And often he has to work at all hours of the day and night.
I'm a Class 1 driver, so my days are long. I start really early in the morning. Sometimes I start 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can go right the way through to 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's not as if I just get in and sit behind a desk every day. I've got a 40-foot long truck. I've got a lot of responsibility to look after the lorry, look after someone else on the road. The worst thing is, I think now at the moment what I'm doing, even though I'm driving the wagon, I'm also going through every single technique that I've got to learn, because there must be about 400 techniques that I've got to just do without even thinking about it.
Today's most martial arts.
My workmates are very interested in what I do. They keep asking me what the actual day and grade involves.
The first day is a pure black belt, teaching all your techniques, all your weapons, show you that you can actually teach and you can actually do the art you're doing. And then the second day is pure crap, basically. It's all physical. Every single belt you've done in your whole 7 years you've been training, you go over every single belt again. We have to do a 6-mile run with lake crossing involved in it. And the second day lasts about 7 hours of non-stop throwing techniques.
They think I'm mad.
Take care.
Especially the type of martial art I do. It's a one-off.
Cheers, matey. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Yeah, they think I'm crazy. What they think I'm going to try and attempt, they just think I'm mad. They'd rather go down the pub and have a beer. The hardest part is fitting it in with the family life.
Hey, how you doing? Good girl? Yeah. That's me. Girl.
With only 3 weeks left for training and a busy work schedule, Trevor is trying to fit in extra sessions at his local gym.
4, 25, 26.
The black belt grading includes an arduous physical
29,
fitness test.
30.
Years and years ago I used to be a bodybuilder before I started doing this. When I don't do the running, I go down and do the gym work. The fitness test, which you do on the first day, that involves 100 press-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 leg raises and 100 burpees. The worst thing about that, you've got no rest. It's not a case of that you can do 50 or you can do 40 and have a little rest. It's got to be precise, accurate, and you've got to do one test, then the next, then the next, then the next. There's no stopping. You've got to go through it.
As the day of reckoning approaches, Trevor's training leaves precious little time for normal family life.
He does miss her a lot when he's out and he doesn't see her get to go to bed and that, so he misses her a lot, yeah. He's fortunate in that he can finish work sometimes in the early afternoon, so he's got a couple of hours before he goes down the club to spend with Jessica, so he's got that time there.
2 years ago, Kevin and his partner Teresa bought an old bakery in a small Norfolk village. This has become the heart of the Rio Organization.
I was brought up in Norfolk as a child in Swaffham, which is only about 30 minutes down the road, so it was like a return back to my beginnings, really. My father lives just down the road in the next village. The place was built in 1720. It's got lots of characters I'm sure you've seen already. This is my office in here, which we've literally just finished construction actually, because I got kicked out of the office in there with Teresa, who is the registrar. Through here is Teresa's office. This is where the organisation is actually run from. We have some 7,000 students, both here and abroad, in 26 dojos and all, and it's all controlled from this centre here. Myself and the lads work very hard in here, doing the administration with Teresa, who is, as I say, is the registrar, and keeping the clubs running along smoothly. That's the two ones you had separate. Right.
Trevor's grading will take place here in the village hall, where Kevin also runs a local jiu-jitsu club.
There. That is going to come round like a baseball bat. Hitting right. So, from here, let's parry. Through.
Been doing it about 5 months.
I wanted to do martial arts really since I left school, but never quite got round to it. And when a club opened up opposite my house, it seemed too good an opportunity to miss.
Push your hip up. Axe kick. Push him away.
I've been looking for a jiu-jitsu club for some years, but in this part of the world, they're very few and far between.
We look at the ball. Okay, that's going to do a lot more damage. It's a far more effective weapon for striking soft tissue. Okay.
Every instructor that you'll ever meet is brilliant, and their style is the best there is, and so on, and everybody else is a load of rubbish. When you actually get on the mat and get down to it, you find out very quickly whether they're all talk or not. And unfortunately, in this world, a lot of people are all talk. So I'm very impressed with Kevin from what I've seen over the last 6 months or so, enough to keep me coming every week.
2 weeks to go and another early start for Trevor. He's still far from certain that he's going to make the grade when the time comes.
The worst thing, I am frightened about not achieving it, because going back, it's been 7 years. It's been a long 7 years. It's been painful 7 years. I've had a lot of breaks, a lot of injuries, but you just have to get on with it. Hopefully, it's all going to work out.
Come on, keep it going. Don't give up now. 7 years, keep it going. Come on, don't let it beat you. Let's go. Come on. 7 years have gone past, let's go.
The 7-mile run around the Norfolk Fields, which will begin the 2 days grading schedule, also holds a further challenge.
I've got to do a 7-mile run, and at the end of the 7-mile run, I've got to run to a lake, which can be freezing cold. I've got to swim 60 metres along a lake. There's no one there to help me, and that's when I'm going to be at my lowest level, and the mind is going to want to say, no, don't even jump into that water.
Knackered. This is the worst part.
That's the part that I might stop, because that's going to be a big test, because it's not as if you're in a nice heated swimming pool in a nice leisure centre, where it's nice and warm. You've done 7 miles, you're knackered basically, and you've got to try and swim across the lake with no help. I don't even like thinking about it.
As the grading gets closer, Trevor's training is becoming even more intensive than usual.
Damn weather. God. What a pain.
He'll train when he finishes work. If he's got spare time before he goes down the club, then he'll train then, and he'll train at weekends. He'll go out and he'll do his cycling and his running, and the evenings that he's not down the club, he's up in his room going through his belts and that. So he's every day really he's doing some sort of training towards it. Wind, rain, he'll still go out on his bike or running, come back soaking wet. It doesn't bother him.
With now less than a week to go, it's Trevor's final visit to the club before his grading. If all goes well, this could be the last time he has to wear that brown belt in public.
You've not been on that tonight? What? You've not been on the mat tonight? No, tonight. No?
Kevin's organisation promotes martial arts training for all ages. The main club at Boreham Wood offers weekly classes for infants, juniors and adults. And as part of the grading, Trevor must be able to demonstrate his skill as an instructor.
Tremendous changes in Trevor. When he first started, he was incredibly shy, lacked confidence in front of people. By the time he'd got up to about green belt, I'd seen a significant change in his character.
I'm not going to do it nice and long. It's sweet, short and sweet. Bang.
He was starting to get a lot more confident, a lot fitter in terms of cardiovascular fitness, as against muscular strength. And then Trevor was invited onto the combat team. He was one of the lowest grades to be invited onto the team. He's been to the States and Spain and all over the world with me as an rookie and a senior student. And now I can stand back, I can let him go on the mat and teach in his own right, even as a Shodan Ho.
Yeah, you're coming under. Yeah, you're not just doing a straight punch.
He can go on the mat in front of 200 or 300 people as a Shodan Ho and captivate and hold the audience in his hand, which I know many downgrades are incapable of doing that. So I think it's turned him around. It's turned him around.
Okay, the winner of Student of the Month this month is Thomas Garvin. Big hand.
Yes. God, this might be happening to me next week. Well done. Yes, well done.
Okay, Faye, this is my own personal little dojo.
Yes.
Oh, this is lovely.
That's where I do all my...
Faye Goodman is one of the world's most highly qualified female martial arts
Right,
exponents.
do you remember the day?
Just a bit. Yes, I remember being strangled quite a bit on the day.
And how
Kevin
Paul
Pell
fight
was a
was it?
contributor to the Jiu-Jitsu section of her best-selling Ultimate Book of Martial
What was
Arts.
that nice painful technique where we had you in an arm lock? Was it an arm lock or...?
Trevor agreed to show Faye his own private dojo.
And as soon as I moved in, I saw the room like this. I knew exactly what I wanted in my head. And I thought, yeah, I want a place where I can just go, shut the world off.
Sanctuary, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's lovely.
I do all my meditation, all my syllabus, new techniques techniques that I've done before that I think I want to change or develop new techniques. I just come in here and shut the door and just work through them. Over the years, basically all the photographs you see are over the years of me training. That's a very special one. That's the first time that I got Student of the Year, going way back.
Oh God, it's snow.
In Sweden. That was in Finland, Sweden, yeah. It's quite funny that was, because when we went out from here, and it was sunny and lovely, we went out in shorts and dark glasses. We got there and had about 4 foot of snow.
And this picture is absolutely magnificent. I mean, where did you get this from?
My dad got me this. The family have been behind me 100%. And because the art we do, the Samurai Warrior, is involved in what we do, he saw this and he gave me this as a birthday present.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's limited edition, there's not many around.
And it's lovely to see a female samurai.
Yeah.
And you see it's got all the history on the back. All these are famous samurai in Japan. Can we have a look?
Yeah.
I mean, that's wonderful. And also I like the lady in the centre. So the lady samurai, female samurai, who is she?
Although the regime is tough, some women have been attracted to the Isshin Ryu clubs.
Currently we have five adult women. In the children's classes, I would say females make up 1/3. We'd like to see more, and we do have a regular turnover of females, but unfortunately it is a turnover. We've had 2 females get up to brown belt in the past. It would be unfair to them if we made the training any easier or softer for them, because the ultimate reality of the situation is that if they're going to be attacked or they have to fight themselves out of a situation, we have failed if we give that woman the self-belief that she can get herself out of trouble, and when in fact she can't. The women are treated no differently in the dojo to the men. In terms of the physical training, the press-ups, the sit-ups, the freestyle randori, the grappling, the women have got to be able to hold their own, and the ones we have can.
Right, guys?
But as I say, the challenge is out there for everyone, but on an equal basis.
For Trevor, the grading will be as much a mental challenge as a physical one.
I also do a lot of meditation, which I found very, very useful. It helps the mind cope with what you're putting your body through, and you can get yourself prepared a lot more if your mind's focused and your mind knows what you're trying to attempt. I'm able to go upstairs, shut the door, get myself into another world, just shut the world off, get into a meditation state and just go over my techniques. Imagine that there's someone standing in front of me and practice the techniques, practice things that might go wrong, something that the mind might say, no, I've had enough, I can't cope with this no more.
94, 95, 96.
The training is designed to burden the student with obstacles of reaching up this far. We accept that we have a very, very large turnover. That's not to say that they're bad people or they've been bad students. While they've been part of Isshin Ryu, they've been part of the family. But maybe it was just beyond them to reach that final stretch and attain gold, or in this case, attain black.
This is Trevor's last proper day of training. Tomorrow is Friday, and he will travel up to Norfolk with Kevin to prepare for the weekend's grading ordeal.
This is the worst part.
It'll be worth it, mate.
I don't think it's too hard, no, not at all. It's a challenge like any other challenge. Why do people climb Everest? Why do people free fall from incredible heights? It's a challenge like anything else. Martial art wise, it's the ultimate challenge. It's certainly the toughest black belt program that we know of anywhere, and I've travelled around the world just a little bit, and I don't know of any other training regime like this.
Well earned rest.
Well earned rest. Do you think you've earned it then?
I think so.
Lots of martial arts nowadays tend to pet their students with badges and pretty coloured jackets and incentives and pay-as-you-go schemes. Ours is just cold, harsh. You're going to get nothing for nothing, and you're going to work extremely hard to achieve it.
Well, I'm nervous for him, but proud as well. He's done a lot of hard work to get this far. So I just hope the weekend goes okay, and hopefully we'll see a bit more of him afterwards.
Luckily, Tracy has been with me right down the line. I think she knows that how badly I want this, and whatever I say I would have done, she would have to have accepted it, because I want this so bad. I want to be not a black belt. I don't want to be just a normal black belt. I want to be an Ishmael black belt.